everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com, and today I want to show you how to make DIY slipcovers for your armchairs. If you want a chair or a pair of chairs that are good quality and that you love, sewing slipcovers for them is a wonderful way to give them a new look on a budget. I adore my pair of Win accent chairs from The Brick. I will link to them down in the description box below. Thank you so much to The Brick for sponsoring this video today. These chairs have gorgeous classic lines, and I think their quality is absolutely amazing. They're firm but comfortable with high density foam cushions, and the chairs are nice and deep so that you can sink back and relax. While I love this beautiful neutral paisley print that the chairs come in, I thought they'd be perfect candidates to sew slipcovers for. The pattern here limits the other patterns I can add to our living room, and I've always enjoyed the look of white slipcovers for summer months. It's so fresh and airy. So I enlisted my mom to help me get started on some DIY slipcovers for these gorgeous chairs. She's sewn dozens of slipcovers over the years, and she helped me get started so that I could make these and share them here with you today. Here's how to make your own DIY slipcovers. Step 1, choose and pre-wash the fabric. You can use all sorts of fabric types for slipcovers, but picking something that's washable is a really good idea. You might also want to find an old sheet or some inexpensive muslin to create your initial pattern if you don't want to gamble with your actual slipcover fabric when you create your pattern. Make sure to pre-wash the fabric if you're planning to wash the final slipcover. My mom recommends washing it at the hottest setting so that you shrink it thoroughly before creating your slipcover. I chose a white cotton Decor fabric for my slipcovers. Step number 2, create the slipcover pattern. Remove the chair cushion, and we'll get to that later. Use your old sheet or muslin fabric or your actual slipcover fabric if you're feeling bold, and start laying it over sections of your chair, the arms, the back, the seat, etc. Measure and cut rectangles that are a few inches larger than each piece. It's always a better idea to cut the rough pieces larger because you can make them smaller later, but you can't make smaller pieces larger. You may have to divide the back piece in half and add a zipper or ties in order for the slipcover to fit your chair. In my case, I made sure my slipcover was wide enough to slip over the entire chair without a closure. For my chairs, we cut pieces that were large enough to graze the floor so that I'd have flexibility with the hem length of the slipcovers. You can add some extra length to your fabric where your chair has deep crevices. My mom recommends having your fabric at least 2 inches longer at these points so that your finished slipcover can be tucked deep into the crevices to create a more fitted look in the end. Next, put each fabric piece in place one at a time. Pin it to the corners of your chair with stick pins and mark the seams with a washable pencil. This will help you create a pattern that matches the curves of your chair perfectly. Now it's time to cut your fabric pieces. Before you cut, make sure to add a 3/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the pieces that you've traced. You can use a 1/2 inch seam allowance to sew your slipcover, but this extra 1/4 inch will help the slipcover fit nicely over your chair. Don't forget that your chair is symmetrical, so you can cut one set of arm pieces and then mirror them and use them as patterns for the other arm pieces. If you're using a cheap sheet or muslin, now it's time to use it to cut your good fabric. If you've been working directly with your finished fabric, stop and trace all your pieces onto paper before you sew your slipcover. You'll be so happy you made a copy of your pattern if and when you want to sew new slipcovers for your favorite chairs in the future. Step number 3, sew the slipcover. Using a standard sewing machine and a 1/2 inch seam allowance, start sewing your slipcover together piece by piece. It truly depends on your chair, but I started sewing my seat piece onto the bottom fronts of the arms and went from there. After sewing each piece, place the slipcover on your chair inside out. This will work in the end because of the chair symmetry, and make any adjustments by pinning things in place with stick pins and making marks with a pencil. Please note you'll be doing a lot of putting the slipcover off and on the chair again, but it'll be worth it in the end to achieve a nice fit. If you make any alterations to your pattern as you sew, make a note of those so that you can adjust your pattern for the next time. Finish your seams with a zigzag or a serger or an interlock stitch. This will help prolong the life of your slipcover as you wash it. Hem the bottom of the slipcover by pressing it under twice at the length you desire and stitching that hem in place. I didn't add any piping or top stitching to my slipcovers because I wanted them very simple to sew, but you could add those details for a more traditional look. Step number 4, sew the cushion cover. Use your original seat cushion cover as a pattern to create a new one to match your slipcover. Measure it and or trace it onto your fabric, remembering to add that 3/4 inch seam allowance. Create a zipper opening by pressing a 3/4 inch seam allowance on one side of the 2 strips of your cushion's side piece, and then pinning and sewing a zipper in the middle. Pin the cushion side pieces to the cushion top and bottom pieces and sew them together. Turn everything right side out. Put the original foam from the cushion inside your new cushion cover. Now it's time to put your new slipcover on your chair. Turn your new slipcover right side out and pull it over your armchair. Line up the seams of the slipcover with the seams of your chair and smooth and tuck the excess fabric into the chair's crevices to create a fitted look. Pop on your newly covered cushion and you're all set. You have a chair that looks brand new. I think our living room looks completely different with the slipcovers on our beloved and comfy Win chairs from the Brick. I really like the casual, relaxed look of the softly draping white covers, and the fact that I can pull them off and wash them is a huge bonus for our family. The slipcovers also allow me to play with adding different patterns in my accessories, and I love how our living room is transformed into a more relaxed boho look for summer with some DIY shibori, throw pillows, lots of greenery, and sea glass accents. I will leave all the furniture pieces from the Brick down in the description box below, as well as a written tutorial for this DIY slipcover sewing project. But the other pieces featured in the room from the Brick are the Luda accent table, the Amar area rug, Meredith velvet sofa, and the Kier coffee table. I also found those giant sea glass candlesticks on the mantle from the Brick in-store. I think it's so neat how all of these large pieces can work for both a French country style, like in my spring home tour, which I will link down in the description box below, and also for this more boho relaxed look for summer. I love that I was able to give these comfy and classic chairs a whole new look with a little fabric and a whole lot of DIY. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know down in the comments below if you would ever sew a custom slipcover, and if you have any tips or tricks on sewing a slipcover, I would love to hear those down in that comment section below as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas. I'll leave some more fun DIY and decor videos for you to watch in the corner, and I will see you next time.